Here we go. A race to 5. FSR is first of 2 matches now on the TV table. I must say, he in the practice room, he looks a little tired, understandably so. The man has played a tremendous amount of pool and just flew in from Vegas, and he told me that he's been suffering a bit of a cold, which really is a Las Vegas thing.
Yeah, I'm suffering a little of that myself. Not really a full-blown cold, I don't think, but just a little congestion. But when I was leaving for the arena this morning, I saw FSR get dropped off from the airport, just arriving from the States. Long journey after what was almost an incredible final, but almost a historic final. If he could have taken down that World 10 ball. Pretty historic what he's done anyways the last 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, you say something there, 12 to 18 months. So before, everyone was talking about the tremendous year that he was having, but he's well past that now.
Interesting shot there, obviously not what she wanted. Opening up the 8-9, there was a pretty messy table, and still is, but a good shot at the 2 here. Maybe the angle to get somewhat short side on the 3, maybe. Combination looks pretty difficult. Maybe able to draw it behind this 3 ball.
I think the carom is on. If he could get to the left side,
attention, please,
as thin as he can off of the 3 with a trace of right spin.
Looks like he's going around the 4. Oh no, he could kill it inside the 4, so he's going to get either the kiss shot or straight in. And you could almost tell the way he practiced some there in the practice room that it was a little bland for FSR right now, the way he's feeling. A little fatigued. Probably just trying to keep his energy up as much as he could.
It must be a special feeling being the world #1, reigning world 9-ball champion, world 8-ball champion. You have a target on your back.
Yeah.
But it's also, that's tough because everyone will try to bring their best game. But on the other hand, it's also sort of, you're carrying a legacy. You're building a legacy, which makes it easier in a way, I think.
Well, I think it agrees with him as well. You know, he's going to, the way he plays, you know, having a little mark on his back. Players, you know, big wins over FSR these days, but gotta love the way he swings the cue, real confident. He's not going to slow down just because he holds almost every title in the world right now. U.S. Open champion as well.
World Cup of Pool champion. So a nice wreck there. Immediately good position from the 2 to the 3. He's cruising El Ferrari.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient. Hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing. Sold out shows where 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown. Get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the news if it's some losing shit.
Shaw is leader of the board. You know, on day 1 he won all his 3 matches.
Sanchez, Ruiz.
Chou Chieh from Poland. He's playing Naoki Oi. I think he'll top Shaw even if he wins. So it depends how he wins that match, what the scoreline would be. But he's looking good.
Maybe no coincidence that Shaw came early, didn't play Vegas. Started the PLP. The red hot start and an ugly 8-ball that got right on the point near the side. Usually the ugliest position for a ball to land after the break. Now, of course, he'd like to be able to maybe get around and play a ball off the 8. If that's possible. I don't really see that particular ball early to try and open up that 8-ball, but
yeah, maybe with the 3, like a shot to nothing. If he leaves himself an angle on the 3, he could try and bump it.
Yeah, I like
having
that.
a guaranteed shot on the 4.
I like that. You want to get a rolling angle on it, not a stunning angle, so he's going to avoid it here. Guess just play off the 6 to the backside of the 8, most likely. He may play the 6 off the 8, actually. The 5 kind of leads towards the 6, right, for in the side pocket.
Yeah, so he's not attacking the 8 ball because, like Jeremy said, he has a stunning angle. He would need to work the cue ball to get towards the 8, and then it becomes too tricky, too risky.
Yeah, I like the 6 off the 8, I think. Just play 1 rail on the 5 for the lower right corner. Maybe 2 rails. I kind of like 1 rail myself. But 2, good speed. On a great position because he can get the cue ball off the rail as well. Doesn't want to be on the top side of the 6. Would rather be a hair underneath it or straight in for the 6 on the side.
Yeah. This now this shot, he needs to come through the 5 and with the trace of right spin to keep that cue ball moving. If you've played as many TV matches as he has done, that makes that shot a lot easier. He plays it without thinking, actually.
Yeah, just a little flick. Amateur players can sometimes overhit this, not understanding that the ball will move. It doesn't take much, and you could see there he hit it really soft, but did catch it a little thick. Gonna have to make a nice shot here on the 8. Can he avoid the scratch with a high ball? Yeah, he could have caught any piece of the 8 there and just caught a little more than he wanted.
Yeah, or more speed.
Yeah, or more speed.
Make that 8 ball come back to you.
He's going to have a long shot on the 9.
Shot. I like what he did there.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he could have gone forward. I think the scratch was a possibility.
Now, is he playing low right or just a high ball?
I don't know. It's awkward cueing. I kind of like just a high ball myself.
Shot. Nice.
Francesco Sanchez Ruiz wins the 2nd track.
Yeah, that angle cueing, hitting down on it's kind of like breaking from the side rail. It's a little awkward. One thing I like about FSR is, you know, once he gets down, he never ever adjusts. Just goes with what he sees and pulls the trigger.
He stays true to what he prepared. Yeah. And in a way, you know, I don't want to be the cynical one, but he's been on such a good run, then I automatically start to look for signs when it's coming down. I don't know if you do the same. You know, you pay a little extra attention. Is he going to de-accelerate on strokes? Do we see fatigue? Do we see a lack of discipline? But nothing thus far. It's really amazing.
Yeah, well, I think the long road of getting there is going to keep him to where he's not going to let off, you know?
Yeah, and his collaboration with David O'Cady.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Financially also, it's not a solo effort.
Right.
It's better if you have someone next to you that keeps you grounded.
Yeah, and what I was getting at is if you have some of these champions, you know, like a Filler, for instance, that hit the ground running kind of on the pro scene, winning quickly, you know, I think you tend to see that let down a little easier and a little more understandable.
Yeah.
But with FSR, nice shot there on the 1, by the way. That wasn't easy. And FSR, though, has been some 6, 7, 8 years of trying to grind his way to this position. And it's still hard to win, even if you're working so hard like he has. But I don't think you're going to see him let up. He's gotten a big taste of that winning, but it's still somewhat new on the huge, you know, the biggest events.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and even, you know, if he's going to come down a little bit, he'll stay a contender for the next 15 years. Going to be difficult to stay away from the long rail here.
Yeah, and that's where deciding where you really want to get makes a huge difference, not just kind of letting it go forward and not really having a plan, and I think she's got an ideal here. Stop the cue ball.
Now it seemed, she seemed to move on the shot, but not really. It's just her back arm. She sort of makes room for that upper arm to come through the ball. Nice. A busy schedule for Rita
Chiu Chieh
in
Yu.
this evening session. Chou Chieh Yu playing her third match.
Thank you.
It's been a tough evening session against Earl Strickland, against Peglivanovic, and now up against the world number 1 FSR. 2-1. She's got her first rack on the board.
Thank you.
Sanchez to break. In rack 4, he has a 2-1 lead against Chou Chieh Yu in the Premier
The
League pool.
fourth rack. Francesco Sanchez to break. Leading 2-1.
He won his first match of the day, Sanchez against Strickland. This will be his second and the last one in this evening session against Peglivanovic.
Interesting, I talked to Jason Shaw in the practice room, and he thought this table was very difficult to make the one in the side for some reason. He hasn't really figured out why, and I think we've had a couple players that have been pretty successful, but Shane missed it quite a few times. Now, FSR's missed it both times he broke.
Push out called.
Yeah, I see it come short, meaning the one ball goes to the long rail before the side pocket a lot.
And FSR, of course, not a
It's your choice, Francesco.
Einstein statement, but one of the guys that has really been really good with the one in the side, and hence why he's had so much success along with some great play, but not a guy that misses the one a whole lot. See Alvin Ocean in the background on table
Please
2.
play again.
About to take a 2-0 lead on Chris Melling. I don't mind this pass here. Yu's not going to take much time, but
Whatever you do, it needs to come past the side pocket.
and that's another one of those shots. You know, she got down and played it pretty quickly. You know, she rolled out, so she knew what she wanted to do, but it seems like to me when you go look behind the 3 ball where you really want to get the cue ball, it seems you hit that mark quite often.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Give your brain a couple of visuals.
Yeah, just a little information for the brain, and these great players rarely miss the mark on that. Hold a little angle.
Yeah, I always marvel, like the snooker players. You never see them do it. Like give themselves visuals, but I'm 100% certain if they would point to the spot, if they try to get on the right side of the blue, on the correct side of the blue, they would get there more often.
Right.
3 cushion players will do it.
Yeah, I mean, other sports you don't realize that the reaction sports, you know, the information is so quick, right? Action sports, so you don't think and realize what's going on, but it's the same. You got to tell the brain a little information. It's kind of like players, they always go look the object ball to the hole right before they get back behind the cue ball. That's the last thing.
Yeah.
You know? Not really looking at a contact point, just kind of looking at how we want it to travel. It's always going to be a little awkward. If he didn't get really premium here, he may have to take a cut shot on the 7.
Yeah, which would be fine, but it will mean a longer shot on the 8 if he's cutting the 7.
That's another thing that he does really well. Make decisions on keeping it simple and relying on his skills. Of course, all those titles, you got to be doing everything well.
Yeah, nice. Perfect angle. Medium speed.
Yeah, that real comfortable speed.
Yeah, and this, how that 8 ball went in, I have to admit, like a year and a half ago, I was, you know, I always liked this game, but I wasn't a believer yet.
Sanchez, Ruiz,
And then a couple of matches of FSR, I tried to look objectively. And then I started noticing how often the ball goes in clean when he plays shots like that. And one of the things he does so well.
Well, he's a pure striker of the ball, that's for sure.
3-1, his lead. One of the contenders, one of the favorites to claim the title this week, but it's going to be a long week. A long haul. And I'm sure he'll be happy to just get some
5th rack.
good nights of sleep in.
Chiu Chieh Yu to break. Shredding 3-1.
Yeah, it'd be a bit easier to have a 2-1 record or a 3-0 record after day one. I think he kind of reboots as well as anyone I've ever seen. Also, you know, just kind of leaving stuff behind.
Yeah, the thing with FSR, and I just speak about my personal observation or the impression he gives me, like in pool, many champions can be a little bit awkward, right? They're athletes that are very good at being by themselves, certain characters, but he's just a plain guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have a coffee with him and he'll say, hey, did you watch the football last Sunday? Not knowing that he's the ultimate pool champion. Nice, very nice. Long.
It's going to be difficult here.
Well, there's a lot of slide on this table, so if he goes twice across, long rail and then long rail just before the 3 ball towards the second diamond, I think he'll slide long.
Yeah, he's going to try and make this kind of hook a little bit with a high ball. Maybe even a touch of right English, maybe.
Why would you give right here? Does that hook the ball more?
On the slick table it will. Yeah, on the slick table. Yeah.
Hello.
The slick table, it'll actually, like if you're facing with the way he was shooting,
Yeah.
it'll make it kind of bend a hair right off the first rail past the pink, the purple 5. Love this though.
She made a good shot. He made a good shot. Can she return the favor? Can't complain. He is a bank. Can really control the cue ball nicely.
He's got to bank it slowly though. You're talking about the cross side. Maybe slow bank this. Try to bump the 2 maybe. Make it draw it that much. Wow, good stroke. It's amazing what you can do when you're close to the object ball as far as manipulating the angle and creating spin with the cue ball. Slick table helped that shot as well, but
Yeah, from 1 diamond distance, he can do everything. just like that, in a position to go 4-1. Same here, as you said before, FSR, always keeping it simple. And everyone tries to keep it simple, but not all succeed in doing it so consistently.
Well, it just all comes down to, if you want to keep it simple, it all comes down to ball pocketing, really. I mean, if you understand taking on the shot rather than working the cue ball so much, I think it leads towards a lot of confidence. It's going to come up in big moments where you have to knock a ball in, and I think all those shots where you're not moving the cue ball around so much, taking on a little bit more natural patterns and stuff like that, I think it just reaps a lot of benefits to come, down the end of the tournament.
The recipe with which Ralph Chou Chieh has won all those titles in the 90s and 2000s. Keeping it simple, dividing the pressure, the load over 2 or 3 shots. You know, killing the cue ball, another long shot, killing the cue ball, and another long shot.
Yeah, I think I was kind of the same way, to be fair, when I played. Didn't mind working a few shots rather than trying to take on. We all like to make the great shots, but they're so great because they should be few and far between.
Yeah. Yeah, but you need to handle the nerves under pressure to do that.
Yeah, keep the brain, right?
Yeah, and not think, okay, let me just make this, swing the cue ball around 4 rails, and then I'm there.
Yeah.
Rack 6. Francesco Sanchez Ruiz is breaking on the hill, leading 4-1.
Well, it's pressure, and many players, lower level players, the non-champions, they often will try to get rid of the pressure in one shot.
Missed the one again.
I would think if that one ball goes to the long rail before the side pocket, hit it a little thicker.
Yeah, but he was quite a bit below the rack diving with the cue ball. So.
Yeah.
And I've just watched him do it so often. I mean, he's just one of those players, doesn't miss the one very often at all. I wonder if he may change sides, maybe?
Well, there was as much cheat as she could do on that shot.
I think a bit nervous still. A little more speed on that than she wanted. I think that's why it hit so thick. She didn't give it time to really turn. Nice safety here, though. Don't think she's left the 2 at all.
Difficult hit this.
Yeah, I think he wants to come underneath at 2 rails to the outside of the 2. You wouldn't want to disrupt the 5-6 here, if you can help it.
If he plays this with draw, make that cue ball curve a little bit around the 5, he'll have a bigger 2 ball to go to.
Extension called.
This player is always trying to grind out every game, but here at the PLP even more so, even with a big lead, because come 5 days from now we're going to lose 6 players and there could be some tiebreakers involved. Racks won and loss is definitely part of it.
Foul stroke.
Or can be part of it, let's say that.
So the good news for FSR is that he didn't touch the 5 or 6.
Not much space between there, and I'll tell you, I think she needs to try and open the 5-6 now, but still going to have a little bit of difficulty. Could end up queuing funny. Has to shoot the 3 and get across for the 4.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, this is a smart way to play it.
Please.
Less likely to be jacking up over the 5 when she's going for the 3 ball.
Yeah, she doesn't want to run too thin off of this. So, and there's a 9 ball there. So, a couple different ways she could play it, but this isn't bad. It's going to be over the 6 ball a little bit. There was always going to be a chance of getting over one of those balls, the 5-6 or 9.
Yeah, now she's committed. She has to go. Shot. Oh, very nice. Beautiful shot. I missed applause here.
Yeah, right.
But we don't have an audience. It was a real good shot. Now stay above the 6.
And she'll have to ease this in, maybe a hair right English. Doesn't really need it. She could come to the backside of the 7 for the side, but you wouldn't figure.
Oh, nice. She flicked it on at the last stroke.
Yeah, the English?
Yeah, the English. She addressed center ball.
I didn't notice her do that before. That's, in my opinion, not something you want to do for the most part. Years ago, players were actually taught that. Decades and decades and decades ago.
Well, I remember the old school time when these players, Fong Pang Chao and those guys, they used to do that, like address center and then just put it on the last stroke.
Yeah, not in love with that because you're kind of rerouting the cue while it's in the fast motion.
Yeah. Nice out. I don't, you know, if I teach, I wouldn't teach it, but what I do think is that there are world champions doing it like that. There are world champions doing it differently. And
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they say that in every sport, that some of the greatest players are on the borderline of something you wouldn't show somebody.
nice out by Yu, and that means that the score is now 4-2. We'll be back with Rec 7. Trailing 4-2.
The
Chou
7th rack.
Chieh Yu from Chinese Taipei.
Chiu Chieh Yu to break. Trailing by 4 racks to 2.
Still looking for that first win, the reigning world Nineball champion.
Foul stroke.
And she's up against the reigning world Nineball champion in the men's division. It's a tough ask, especially when giving up ball in hand.
And please start it.
Yeah, caught the one a little thin, then caught a nasty kiss on the side rail. Maybe the thinner hit is the way to go, because she's made the one pretty consistently. She did miss it once, but is he looking at playing the 2 off the 7 to open the pocket for the 5?
Personally, I think a little thicker and no draw.
No draw.
No draw.
More stun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That will make, because many times if the one ball is coming over the side pocket, that's when you're like playing with stun.
Yeah.
If you're doing a cut break.
Yeah, there's 2 ways to do it. The guys who stun it will pull the cue ball about a ball's width inside the box and not on the corner of the box. The players like FSR who do a more of a draw stroke, they're more on the corner of the box.
Yeah, the draw is going to put topspin on the 1. I'm sure they'll figure it out come tomorrow.
Lucky's got to draw short side here for the 5 in the right side pocket. Just a slow draw. He was worried about overcooking it. Play the safety.
Now, she, for me, really needs to go top side of the table and come back down. That's, I feel, the only way where she would make use of the 8 and 9 ball.
Yeah, I like the 2 rails here.
Yeah, but do you do something to make it come flat, or you just come as close as you can to the side pocket?
I just do straight English, I think. She's going 1 rail.
Oh, wow.
Oh, beauty.
It's difficult with that speed. I would be like paranoid to put a hair of left or right on the ball.
Right.
The way she hit it, that was a pretty wild backswing. Very pure. Nice. Catching a bit of a gear. Now seal the deal. Find that line for the 8 ball through the 9. Pick a spot on the rail.
Please.
Could be the facing of the pocket.
Surprised she's drawing it. They hit thick, drawing it. She hit it nice though. Soft draw. I thought it was a lot more speed coming.
Nice. Good kick shot. Then a nice bank and then a good carom 4-3.
Somehow Mellon got to the table. Alvin was on the table with an open 3 ball, I think it was. Up 4-0. Chris Melling, that's on table 2.
I would say it's almost uncharacteristic for Albert Ocean to start out this good. He usually flies under the radar a little bit.
I think both
The 8th rack.
the last 2
Sanchez
years he
Ruiz to break.
wasn't
Leading by
last in
4 lengths.
position, but you know his chance of staying in the event was a little threatened early.
Oh, yeah. FSR breaking, looking to make that one. It's coming close.
I think he's a bit baffled at the moment.
Baffled in not knowing what to do on the break.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just give me a sec, please.
Hit that a little thicker though, you could tell, and a little right side on there.
So no offense on this 1 ball.
Hey, does the 2 pass the 8? I think it does.
Why, do you like offense then?
Well, I'm just saying that, you know, most of the players that I watch, you know, in these events, it's very hard for them to pass on this one.
Okay, please start the clock.
Offside, just because they feel like they're such a huge favorite to make it. Now, if there is position offered, maybe long distance position drawn back behind the 4-6, but 5-6 rather, excuse me.
I think I like it. I like her shot. She had an offensive opportunity, but what she did, you know,
Well, she's-
containing safety, she played it well.
yeah, she's in the match for sure. So
So
races to 5. I don't think you're really ever out of it.
fully exposed 1 ball. And I don't think FSR has anything other than a containing safety. A containing safety meaning you play a shot where you don't lose, where you're trying to not lose, but he can't play an aggressive one.
Can he bank the 1 down by the 2, or is the scratch there?
No, he can, but it would be difficult to hide behind the 3 ball. I think he tried to do a little too much.
Yeah, I think he didn't hit it how he wanted, that's for sure. He was in a funny spot, and he wanted
more than just containment.
Yeah, that, and he definitely wanted Rita to have to come with a very difficult shot to get started, and that's not the case. I mean, it's not easy, of course, but very playable.
Nice. Needs to finesse that cue ball around to 4 and 9. Depends on the exact angle.
She kind of go at the 7 a little bit with a little right spin.
Nice. Now she cannot get low on the 4. Can she just about get straight in?
Only good thing for her is she can just pinch it back a little bit with the 6 near the 5. Shouldn't be a problem. Stay away from the 9 here. Surprised if she went to the rail.
Big shot. This is the shot to go hill, the key shot. Nice, very nice. She plays those good.
Well, similar to her opponent, she doesn't really steer the ball in much. Even needing to work the ball a little bit there. Wasn't tentative at all.
So we have 2 world Nineball champions, the 2 reigning world Nineball champions up against each other. Going toe to toe, hill. Oh.
Should be okay.
If only she makes this 9. Chiu Chieh Yu. Does it? Does it? That's a very nice out. A misplayed safety. Sanchez Ruiz trying a little bit too much there, I feel.
Well, it's a styling record. There's no break, but it's up to you. If you need to go, you gotta go. Yeah.
Hill. And Marcel Eckert not telling FSR that he can't take a break. But sort of put him on the spot.
Yeah, just let him know there was no break after the 3 games, like FSR was suspecting.
He said, if you really need to go, you gotta go. 4-4.
And you could say up until then the dry break really hadn't cost him, but there it did. Surrendering a nice safety from Chou.
Yeah, I think she showed savvy with the way she played that 1-ball safety. 1 ball's down, 2 balls traveling, needs a little more. No, we're gonna get some defensive play back and forth.
Seems like that's always the case when it's hill. The great players. Rarely a break and run.
Right?
Yeah, it's been like that ever since I started playing pool, which is great. You know, you get to see both players a lot of times.
How do you like banking that 2-ball cross and with the trace of right spin, checking the cue ball to come down to the right side of the 7-8-4?
Yeah, I do like the shot. You'd like the cue ball to be about a half diamond higher, but you're not going to be able to roll out there and get the shot back probably. That's what she's playing.
Wow.
Oh, she checked it too much. Oof.
Hill, baby.
Well, it's always a shot that's easy to overhit because you want to make sure you get that English on there. You want to make sure you cut the 2 nicely.
Yeah. Now what? What does he have? He can just chip the 2-ball to the left of the 6. That's 1. He can cross it and send it back down to the 4, but then the cue ball is bound to run into the 6.
think he's going to try and push past the 6, playing the 2 back down. Maybe the 2 goes towards the 9 a little bit, maybe. Oh, he played it.
No, nice. I like it.
It's real. This was the shot for sure.
Nice.
Didn't have to play anything thin or too soft. Great shot there.
If you don't know what to do, look for something simple, and he did just that.
That's the type of safety that's not recognized very often, actually. Not sure if I would have recognized that being at the table. That was a nice one from a very odd situation.
Extension, please.
She's trying to get some separation here. That's why she's going across.
I'm 100% jacking up and hitting center ball. She's playing top. Nice. Good hit.
There, she's got him over the purple 5. This is really touchy.
If he hits the 2 ball on the right side, the scratch in the corner low right looms large. Now he can hit it. No, I would always be scared of the scratch, actually. Just thin, maybe, into the 9.
Well, he hit it quite thick, but I was with you. I thought the scratch was there if he tried to play it. Maybe he played it off the 3.
Yeah, I think he played it off the 3. But that allowed him to hit it thicker, and it still went to the long rail. So I think we just perceived that angle wrongly. Now hold your nerve. This is tricky.
Yeah, what do you do with the cue ball here?
Oh, just in, no side.
Just hold it as easy as you can, I guess.
No sides. Try and
Like
catch.
she's going rearing up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I think that one was very difficult to hold the ball. I mean, the cue ball came up quite a bit off of a very thick hit, right?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I may have tried to go into the 9 maybe or something there. I don't know. It looked,
Yeah,
looked
good
pretty
point,
difficult.
actually. Or travel, even mid-table somewhere, or even from the kitchen, she would always have had a shot on the 4 to either side.
Right, that's why I
with
liked it.
defense.
Yeah.
And a route to the 5.
Yeah, with the 4 having 2 pockets, I think icing that ball and letting the cue ball run a little bit, maybe into the 9 or past the 9, like you said.
Yeah, but that's in hindsight, and there's only 30 seconds to think, choose, and execute.
I think the 30 seconds might have had a lot to do with, you know, she pulled the bridge out quickly.
Yeah, 100%. Boy. Here's a little blush on his cheeks, FSR.
I think the bed is a little slower, seems. Really haven't seen too much the players being shocked on an overrun or anything like that.
No, not once.
Kill the ball, could come across here. Or preference.
Yeah, he's good. He's good, especially with the black shaft, how you call it. Makes it even easier to grab. He came real close, FSR, to losing this match. Very nice effort by Chiu Chieh Yu. And if it hadn't been for that thin cut with the rest, she might have gone all the way. But now it's 5